Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kim, and this is Forever Fierce Over 50 Unhinged. And today I'm reacting to the craziness that is the Somali fraud. It is a huge story in the news right now, and so I thought we'd take a look at some videos and see what it's all about. All right, here we go.
It's a daycare center owned by Somalians and stuff like that.
Have you ever seen any kids in this place here?
No, not that I know of. I just seen it, the building itself. I've never seen nobody come out the building or go in the building.
You've never seen anybody over there?
No, not at all.
So right now we are in front of the Great Minds Learning Academy. This is one of the many daycare centers, learning centers here in Columbus, Ohio that are associated with the Somali community. As you know, Nick Shirley put out a bombshell report about all these fraudulent daycare facilities in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we wanted to come out to Columbus, Ohio.
Did you catch that? The Learning Center. They can't even spell learning correctly. I watched that video. I was stunned at the level of fraud and corruption. And you know, at the level that this is, the government has to know about it. There's some theories going around why they're letting this happen. And it's pretty intriguing. I'm going to delve some more into that, and maybe we'll look at that later. But right now, let's keep going.
Ohio and investigate what might be going on in the second largest Somali community in the United States of America. So this place here is the first place we're going to knock, and we're going to see if anybody picks up or answers the door. Let's see. So it's locked. We're ringing the doorbell here, knocking on the door. Nobody's picking up, so we're not sure what the hell's going on here, but we're gonna get out of here. Now there's somebody over there. How you doing, sir? I'm sure you see the reports over the weekend about all the daycare centers in Minnesota. We just wanted to see what was going on. Did you know anything about this place here?
It's a daycare center owned by Somalians and stuff like that.
Do you ever see any kids there?
Not because they use the back door, so I won't know if they
They use the back door.
Yeah, I never seen nobody come in here, but they use the back door.
But have you ever seen any kid? You live around here?
Yeah, on this building right here.
Oh,
If you've ever had the occasion to go to a daycare center, I don't care what door they use, you're going to know that there's kids in there. You're going to hear yelling. Unless it's nap time, you're going to hear kids laughing and having a good time. You're going to see parents coming and going. You're going to know there's kids there, and the doors aren't going to be locked with nobody answering at all, right? This is just nuts.
you're in this building.
Yeah.
You're in this building too. Hey, let me ask you: Have you ever seen any kids in this place here?
No, not that I know of. They use the back, so I've never seen nobody come out the front.
You've never seen anybody over there?
No, not at all.
I just seen it, the building itself. I've never seen nobody come out the building or go in the building.
So we came to the back, just like those guys suggested, and there's nothing here. You know, we could keep poking around, but...
And look at that. Look at that. It's a disaster area. Even if they use the back, would you take your children there? I mean, it's a freaking nightmare. And with the cost of daycare, and even if the government is subsidizing the daycare or paying for it outright, wouldn't you think somebody would want to get their money's worth and make sure that it's safe for children in there? Apparently not. So I think that this actually goes far deeper than we have any idea.
There's so many of these centers to go to. We're just getting started. So we're going to go around the city. We're going to go to a few more of these places. We're going to see if we can get anybody to talk to us. Stay tuned.
Oh yeah, the Somalians have it figured out in Columbus. I went to the Walmart on Georgesville to see if I could see people filling their carts or just kind of see what I could see. It's not the way they do it. They've got it figured out way better than that. Every single Somali restaurant has a grocery store right next door or within eye shot of the restaurant. The specific one I went into today had it attached to the restaurant. And wow, what an adventure that was. Stay tuned for more on that. Anyways, the grocery store and the restaurant were the same building. So they don't have to go to a Walmart or a Sam's Club or a Costco necessarily. They can just order everything they need to their grocery store that's right next to or attached to the restaurant that they also own and never have to fill a single cart. And I guarantee you, if you looked at the records of those grocery stores, they lose tons of money every year, and it's probably used as a tax write-off because those groceries are being funneled into those restaurants with a daycare center on the opposite side.
This is nuts. The fraud is so bad. I'm starting to think it's literally in every state now. And I just found out that there's 5,000 Somalis in Nashville, Tennessee. And this is where I'm outside of Nashville. That's crazy. So, if they're doing it apparently there's reports of it happening in Maine. It's happening in Massachusetts. It's happening in obviously Minnesota and Ohio. This is crazy. Back in the early days of the country and up until the early 1900s, there wasn't income tax, right? It was paid for by the expenses of the country was paid for by the tariffs. And then out of the endless wisdom of our modern day leaders, they decided to get rid of that. And they started doing income tax because of World War II, but it was supposed to be temporary. But of course, nothing's ever temporary, right? So here today, we still have it. It's bleeding us dry while these foreigners come here and live like kings on our dollar. And I know some of you are going to say, they're Americans. They have temporary status. And if they are defrauding our country, even if they were naturalized, they can be denaturalized. And I think they should be. Let's continue.
And that's the common trend you'll see. There's restaurants, grocery stores, and daycare centers, and also home health care businesses. I can't forget the home health care businesses. IKEA was absolutely right. And the reason for the daycare centers I found out while I was at Walmart. 3/4 of the workers I saw working in Walmart, especially the cashiers, were Somali women. You got to figure if you have 2 or 3 wives that you don't have to claim, these women can go work at Walmart full time for $15 an hour and still.
How is that legal? How is that legal? Don't they have to claim the household money? I mean, if they're living in the house, they should claim the household money. First of all, this is America. We don't do multiple wives, right? So if you come over here to ostensibly be an American, then you should live like an American and have one wife.
Qualify for food stamps as long as they have a couple kids, which you can guarantee you they at least have 2 kids. Hell, they average 7. Or same story as working as a home health care aide. They have most definitely figured out the system and how to take advantage of it. And Columbus doesn't break down its numbers like Minnesota, but if anything like the 88% of the Somali community is on social services in Columbus, I can only imagine how deep the fraud is. So I'm changing tactics and going back up Monday, and I have a couple ideas to see if I can't sniff a few things out. Thanks for tuning in.
Wild.
I just had a hit and run, and I called the police, and they came over and did a police report, and I gave them a description of the vehicle, and some nearby police officers that were patrolling the area found the vehicle in a parking lot. And now the people that hit my car are telling the police that I hit them, that I backed into them. The police, of course, do not believe them. And the police officers, obviously, since I couldn't drive my car to the scene where these people were, gave me a ride in their car. So I am in the back of a police cruiser right now. And they also said that they didn't want me to speak directly to the people because they were kind of just being really boisterous and loud and they didn't think it would be safe for me to exchange information.
Imagine that.
They said that they do not have insurance because they are from Somalia and they are planning to go back to Somalia.
Oh,
I'm
right.
not sure if any of that is even true.
And so they lie. Can you imagine? They lie. This is nuts. They're committing fraud left and right. They lie. And we have people in our government protecting them. I think the voices that are calling for all immigrants to be deported are getting much, much louder. If you're here doing the right thing, then maybe, but I'm telling you, I think too many people are done with the Somalis, with the Africans, with the Indians, with all of them. What happened to having cultures that are compatible with ours? You know, what happened to they're trying to get rid of us. They don't like white people. They want to get rid of us. Just know that.
Columbus, Ohio, we found ice. Mesera jo halku soo boodo. Haye, farad dooto. Duro tasira nasiya.
How is that a way to treat the country that has taken you in? They're acting like goat herders, and they're out there waving their Somali flag, and it's bullshit.
What's up, America? Massive fraud committed by Somalians discovered in Ohio this time. Yes, Fox News is just now breaking this, saying they have evidence of Somalians committing Medicaid fraud in Ohio, with individuals getting at least $91,000 in fraud payments. Now, this is just dropping on Fox News, but this is indicative of what we're seeing through many states throughout the United States. So far, it's now Minnesota, Maine, and now Ohio. Investigations have now started saying doctors were rubber stamping people getting Medicaid even though they didn't vet them.
How many states you want to bet this is actually going on in? I bet you it's anywhere they planted Somalians. And apparently, it's not just the Somalians that are here in the United States. It's Somalians that are going anywhere else in the world. Everywhere they go, there's fraud and they're having a problem. And it's kind of hard to believe that our government doesn't understand that when you import people who live, that's their way of life, is defrauding and piracy. They're pirates. They've been pirates for thousands of years. That's how they live. And yet we're supposed to think that they get put over here and they're not going to do that anymore miraculously. It really pisses me off.
Or even find out if they were citizens. The possibilities for fraud here are absolutely enormous and are still being investigated. But what we do know is some individuals were getting up to $91,000 a person per year. That's more money in a year than I've ever made in a year in my entire life, going potentially to Somalian fraud migrants in Ohio. So we need to shine a major light on this, because Ohio is also rampant with fraud from the Somalian community, it looks like. Just like Maine, just like Minnesota.
Come see Columbus, Ohio, fraud investigators. If you go to the government-assisted housing areas, you will find that most of the housing is Somalians. I would say about 80% of the government-assisted housing in Columbus is occupied by Somalians. And the parking lot is occupied with a whole bunch of brand new cars.
We can't afford our rent. We can't afford our mortgages. We can't afford to buy a new place. We can't afford to leave the one we have. We can't afford to stay in the one we have. And yet these people are getting their rent paid for them and they're buying new cars. Isn't that wonderful? Doesn't that just make you feel warm all over? Tell me what you think in the chat, because this is crazy.
Cars. And the women walking around have designer purses with EBT cards, and they have Apple iPhones stuck up in their hijabs. Yeah. And then go to the businesses that are owned by the men. Because see, what happens is when you have a restaurant or when you have a little corner store and you have a couple of wives and you only have to claim one, then that means the other wives get EBT cards, and you can use those EBT cards to buy food for your store or your restaurant. Yeah. Or what you can do is you can get a home health aid company. And then you only hire Somalians to work the home health aid. And what you do is you just make sure their paperwork looks right. It don't have to be right, but you just make sure it looks right. And then you send them off for those home health aid jobs. Y'all don't want to talk about fraud.
This is crazy. Listen to this guy.
This is a special message for our friends in the Somali community. You know, obviously, we've seen a lot of really negative and hateful things coming from Washington, D.C., specifically President Trump, about our friends and neighbors in the Somali community. And while we know he may be
about our friends and neighbors, I don't know about you all, but my friends and neighbors don't rip me off. He's so hurt that they got... they said something mean and hateful. It's mean and hateful because they're stealing from us to the tune of billions of dollars. And that's just in Minnesota. So if it's $9 or $10 billion in Minnesota, how much do you think it is in the rest of the country? But he's a politician. So he's probably getting his pockets lined too. Because these people, these goat herders from Africa that are pirates and live life as pirates and have multiple wives, they didn't think of this on their own.
targeting Minneapolis and Minnesota. Columbus is home to the second largest Somali community in the United States. And we love and appreciate all of the wonderful things that the Somali community has done to make our Columbus such a great city.
What have they done? Oh, wait. Tell me. What have they done? They steal. They commit massive amounts of fraud. They do not assimilate. They do not integrate. They do not... they live in their own enclaves. That's why more of them come, because they know that they can come here and live just amongst Somalians and live their happy little fraudulent lives. No, I'm sorry. They need to go.
And I want you to know that we have your back. You know, folks at City Hall, including myself, and I know neighborhood leaders across the Columbus appreciate the work that the Somali community has done in being our friends and neighbors, and starting businesses and our kids going to school together. Not just Somali community, but immigrants across Columbus. We care about you tremendously, and we want you to know that as President.
What happened to caring about the citizens of Ohio, the natural American citizens of Ohio, the people that were born and raised here and been here for generations? You know, there's a term going around now called Heritage American. And at the start of when I heard that, I didn't really understand it. I thought that's kind of silly. Why should we be called Heritage Americans? But I get it now, because they're inferring American status on these people who don't belong here, who don't deserve to be here, who don't appreciate it, don't care. They just want our money, and they want us gone. They want to take over. It's bull crap, and it needs to stop. How about caring about Americans?
Trump's hateful rhetoric rises, that here in the city of Columbus, we care about you, we appreciate you, and we welcome you to our city always.
There's some more cultural enrichment. What do you think would happen if we went to a foreign country, any foreign country, any one of them, and started raising a ruckus and waving American flags and saying how the foreign country that we went to is terrible? What do you think would happen?
Today I'm showing you 161 Childcare in Columbus, Ohio. And as you can see, it does not look like a childcare center at all. It is locked, it says it's open. There's a little desk right there, but the ceiling's all falling out and stuff like that. And if you come around back, you can see that this place is just a total dump. Literal just debris everywhere.
Looks like a wonderful place to put your kids in for daycare.
This is a question. How do you enroll? How do you enroll your children here? You can't do that?
Okay, let me ask you a question here. Now, first of all, I'm not down with the getup. You know, this is America. We don't wear hijabs and cover everything except for this little piece here. That's not how we roll. But second of all, if you're a legitimate daycare, why are you at the door filming some guy who's just coming to check out your daycare? Why would that be your first response?
No kids? So how can I enroll my children? It says you get public money through Ohio. You get money through the state of Ohio. This is a
Look how crazy she looks too. These people are ugly. I mean, like, ugly.
This is the money that gets.
It's not an opening for you. Be right back. Headed to Minnesota to make millions.
More Somali fraud has been exposed out of Ohio. This is getting out of hand and they're all being exposed. Listen to this. Somalis in Ohio are allegedly running EBT fraud rings using SNAP benefits to stock their restaurants, skimming cards to make millions. More than 34,000 Ohio households have been duped out of nearly 17 million in SNAP benefits from June 2023 to December 2024, with Somali migrant criminals using skimming devices at groceries.
So they're skimming people's EBT cards. And those people actually need those benefits to actually feed their family. The Somalians aren't using that to actually feed their family. They're using it to buy luxury vacations and properties back in Somalia. Check it out, because there's been a construction boom back in Mogadishu. Imagine that.
At grocery stores to clone magnetic strip cards and steal the money, according to the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. In addition, a recent report details how Somali-owned restaurants and grocery stores in Columbus are exploiting benefits. According to the report, migrants own restaurants with attached grocery stores that they own. They buy their ingredients in bulk with SNAP from their grocery stores, then funnel the food to their restaurants where they sell it for cash. One report claims that the Somali migrant men who own the restaurants typically have numerous wives. That's crazy. They only have to claim their first wife so that subsequent wives are able to collect welfare benefits that are then used to prop up the stores and restaurants. This comes as of a 2022 audit of Somali Community Link, a Columbus nonprofit funded in 2020 by Somali migrants, exposed a reported $2.3 million in fraud from federal emergency rental assistance program funds. The investigation flagged missing rental aid, violations of cash management protocols, and inadequate fraud safeguards. Despite these failures, the group, tied to local politicians via campaign donations, secured $350,000 in state funding last summer for a community center, plus $100,000 from Columbus for housing and youth programs. Back in 2020, Somali brothers Hassan and Abdurrahim Noriso, former owners of Tawfiq Market in Columbus, were indicted for a 9-year snap and wig fraud conspiracy totaling over $10 million. The duo allegedly swapped benefits for cash at half the value. Abdurrahim, who oversaw operations, was sentenced to 2 years behind bars. Hassan got house arrest and probation after a guilty plea. So you can defraud SNAP benefits for $10 million and you get house arrest and probation. Only if you're Somalian, I guess, because if I do that and if you and I do that, we're going to go to jail for a long, long time.
Well, she ain't lying. If we did that, we'd be underneath the jail. They wouldn't be able to get us in jail fast enough. But guess what? They don't like us because we're Americans and we want too much, right? We want to be able to feed our children and live in our homes and pay our electricity bill and stay warm in the wintertime. But, you know, I've really come to believe that our current society is just all about maximum cash extraction. That's what they want from us. They want us to work and they want to extract every penny they can out of us so that they can have generational wealth while the rest of us go to hell, basically. All right, well, that's it. Tell me what you think in the comments, because I don't think this story is going away anytime soon. In fact, I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So if you are not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I'll wait. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Share it with somebody who wants to know more about the Somali fraud. And we'll delve into who the Somali people actually are in the future. All right. It is New Year's Eve tonight, so I'm getting ready to make some pizzas and have a fire in the fire pit with my neighbors and have a good time tonight. So I hope everybody has a wonderful new year. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. And let's have a great time and get this handled. All right. Government, step up, please. Bye, everybody.